mother of the child who you just saw in that video being forced to vape in a school bathroom. I sat down exclusively with the mother who says the district isn't doing enough. Last Friday, this video was taken of a Milwaukee Public School K-5 student.
My daughter told me, and then my niece had said, it's a video, and I was like, get the video.
What was your reaction to seeing a video of your 5-year-old son being forced to vape?
Yeah, I was angry. Like, words can't even explain how I felt at the moment.
This mom wants to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation.
By the kids, parents, the world we live in right now it's not safe at all. Like, and I'm not trying to put my kids in no type of harm way.
Since last week, this mom says she's been to the school and MPS central office trying to get answers.
Why was my son in the bathroom unattended? He don't know no better. And to add on top of that, he's a special ed. So I feel like he should have had somebody with him at all times.
We asked MPS about this and asked if the kids responsible were being disciplined. In a statement, a spokesperson said in part that they're aware of the video and are, quote, taking all appropriate steps to ensure this incident is addressed. Mom says she's losing faith and trust.
When I let my kids walk in that door, ain't no telling what's gonna happen to them. They not safe. I don't have no type of peace of mind when they at school. It's like a win-lose situation.
Mother of the child who you just saw in that video being forced to vape in a school bathroom.
You know, this is what happens when you grow up in a household with no father. I'm assuming the father's not in the home because he obviously would have been in the segment. And it's no knock against the mother, you know. It's no knock. I'm sure she's doing a great job raising her kids. I just feel kind of bad because there's but so much they can do, especially when it comes to the supervision in the schools, because you would think that your kid is in, you know, is in good hands when they're in the school because you have people, you know, you have adults, teachers, guidance counselors, so on and so forth. The vaping thing is a no-no, it's off. And there's an uptick in young kids who are vaping. That's how you know, man. And these days, this generation is just so gone. Social media has really, really killed the world. And I'm not saying that the vaping thing and social media is corollary, but I'm just talking just in general in regards to everything as a whole. The vaping, the social media, and these kids and them being followers, them being misguided, not taught anything, what they're being taught in the schools and how it's different from what it was 30, 20 years ago. You know, everything is just worsening. So when it comes to what the kids are doing, it's more glaring as far as like the vaping and stuff like that. Kids shouldn't be vaping, man. I mean, when I was younger, you barely came across certain kids who smoked cigarettes, but yeah, you had, you know, instances where kids were smoking cigarettes, you know, maybe 12, 13 years old, but it wasn't an uptick. It wasn't, you know, a rise in it. These days, like the vaping thing is at its heights. It's at its heights. That's how you know that thing is addictive. And it's important for adults to raise their kids the right way in terms of helping them understand what's good for them and what's not good for them. Obviously, certain people are hard-headed. They still gonna do what they do. Certain people have weaknesses when it comes to these things, knowing that these things aren't good for them, but they still do it. Like I know a couple young cats or young kids who vape, and I try to encourage them not to do it, but they still do it because they're weak. But they understand that they're wrong. I remember I was telling one of my youngins, like one of my young, I guess you could call him like a relative, not necessarily a relative, but he's pretty much like a relative to me. I had to tell him like, yo, you got to chill with that vaping stuff. It's like the first thing you want when you wake up in the morning. You don't even brush your teeth. First thing you want to do is puff on your vape. That's how you know that, you know, these things are being used to really mess up the minds of the youth. The smoking weed and the vaping and all these different forms of, you know, propaganda when it comes to social media. They really, really doing a great job of leading the youth astray, especially when it comes to like the streaming. That's what I'm gonna do a video on. I'm doing a video on streaming and the popularity of it and how it's used to influence the masses, especially the youth, in the wrong way. You know, it's not positive at all. It's not positive at all. So, you know, it's just something I wanted to cover. Very important for us to understand. We must protect our seed. We must protect our children. We must teach them the right way. We must not lead them astray. Train up your child in the way that he should go. And, kudos to the mom for just putting herself out there. But she was smart enough to, conceal herself. I just wanted to get into this scripture because it just, contextualizes the video. It's very important for us to understand, man. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, this is Matthew 18 verse 6. Matthew chapter 18 verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he would drown in the depth of the sea. Right, because the Most High loves the little ones. The Most High cares for the youth. It's very important for us to understand the importance of the impact of the youth, especially when it comes to their trajectory. That's why I have a soft spot for the kids, because the kids are the future and kids are feeble-minded. You want to instill in them the right way so it can be easy for them to, stand on it and maintain it because they're so young. You teach these kids the wrong thing at the young age, at their tender ages, there's no telling how they're going to turn out based off of that indoctrination initially from when they're children. That's why it's good to teach them, train your child at home. When you teach your child at home, that grieveth the enemy. We already understand what that means, right? So it's very important for us to understand the kids are the future. The kids are important. We must protect our seed. Vaping and smoking and, instilling in their minds the wrong things when it comes to the poison on the television or the propaganda on social media, so on and so forth. I know it's hard to escape it. You can't be too elusive, but at the same time, it's very important for us to understand what's right. That's all that matters, is what's right. Follow the right path.